Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a commentary here on the Bravo team scrim battles that they did on Saturday night. This is the first match they played against A-RQL. The map is Sleeping Giant. In the beginning, we send a Gearing, Hindi, and Wooster over to the west side. We send our Yami into mid with its guns towards the west, a Zao and a Moskva to the east to hold the off flank. They place their Minotaur on the island south of A. As it's going into position, it uses its radar to look into the mid to make sure that the enemy is not trying to do a DD push and sneak their DD into A undetected. The first thing I want to cover is our gearing. It's heading over to the one line. It's going to be dropping smoke for the Hindenburg and the Wooster. Their objective is going to try and hold back a push, stop any boats from getting into A. He is traveling very close to a known radar trap. Many teams will put a Des Moines or a Moskva on that corner. If you look at my mini map, I've got the radar coverage of both of these boats. The Des Moines is the red, the Moskva is the yellow. If you come around this corner within the radar coverage, enemy cruisers know that there's a very good chance that you were overextended. They're going to attempt to pop their radar and they're going to catch you before you can get away. If you are too far overextended, they're going to kill you. If you are able to get turned and get out, at best you're gonna survive. You're gonna have very low health when you get out of there and go dark. My recommendation on how this should be played out would be to keep your DD further south. I would recommend the middle of the H line, no further north than the top of the H line. That way you can maintain your concealment. Your Wooster should be about 2 to 3 kilometers south and 1 kilometer back from your DD, and your Hindenburg should be about 3 to 4 kilometers south of your Wooster. This is proper spacing so that way if a DD was to push south, that he is going to detect all three boats within approximately the same time. He will be very quickly within 10 seconds within radar range of the Wooster, and he will be spotted. You'll have three sets of guns. You'll have a set of smoke being laid. You will be very, very efficient in eliminating this DD. It is a suicide run for them to even try it. The other option here is that you maintain your concealment because nothing is there, nothing is radaring you, you are not radaring anything. You move your forces out to the west, prepare for that engagement to hold this west flank. Now I'm going to take a look here at the one line, and you're going to see a very well placed smoke here. It's able to cover the Wooster and the Hindenburg. Even though the Wooster is not in the smoke directly, he is still concealed by it. The destroyer comes out and continues to spot. It's all very well coordinated between the guys. It's very well communicated. But considering the situation here, where we have the battleship, the Des Moines, and the Hindenburg still bow in, still looking to be aggressive, we need to consider getting out of there because this is not a battle you're likely to win. This would be the perfect time to get your boats turned and get ready to kite away instead of just sitting static in the smoke and just trying to out DPM these ships. I also noticed the torpedoes go out to the Des Moines on the corner. That's a very hard shot to hit. I'm not a big fan of it. I would rather say save your torpedoes. You do have this Hindenburg that is continuing to push in. Those torpedoes may be better used there instead. And you're going to see here too is that the guys take a huge amount of damage getting away because they wait until the end of the smoke to get turned to get out of there. Recognizing a situation like this prior to getting into it, where you see a boat that is continuing to push in, that is going to spot you, getting out undetected, can save 20, 30,000 damage, which can make the difference of whether or not you guys can re-engage later in the same situation. I'm going to speed things up here so I don't take up so much time, but I do want to talk about what this western flank should do once they've been overrun. The enemy team really only has two choices. The stupid choice would be if they chased them right to the J line and duked it out to the death. There'd be a huge amount of damage exchanged, and the enemy team would waste a lot of time. It would take those boats effectively right out of the play to the end of the game. The other option, the more smart option, which what most teams would do, is they would put their boats into A and isolate them, keep a small force there to defend the flank. You're going to see what they do here with that. This gives our team two choices. They can either look at re-engaging and trying to get that flank back under control now that some of the boats have left, or the other option is they need to cross this map. But The problem with crossing this map is they're on the IJ line. They are right now effectively out of the game. They need to look at putting a huge amount of DPM on boats in that cap, or they need to get themselves into a position where they're going to be able to effectively eliminate boats or get that cap, because there's not really much other option for them right now. One last thing that we're going to touch on here is the east flank. They eventually decide that they need to try and make a push since the west flank has fallen. There was a bit of a miscommunication here, and you can see that the Moskva got left behind. This turns out to be a bit detrimental to the success of this. It's a very hard push to begin with. They've got a Gearing, a Zhao, and a Moskva sitting there on that corner, plus all the ships shooting as they cross the map. You're going to see here that the torpedoes eventually get the Yamato. It's a very tough position because they've got the angles, they're using the communication, the coordination to stall this by all means necessary. Eventually this does end up being a win for A-RQL based on points. Overall, it was a very good game. Everybody played really well. It's a very strong strategy. I think it has a lot of potential to be a very successful strategy with this group of people. We just need to continue to work together. Our use of smoke was very good. It was very strong. It's something that we should continue looking at. Although we do need to work on our awareness. We need to know when we're not going to be able to win a flank. We need to know when we're getting pushed, so that way we can get out of that smoke, or we can just get out of a situation without taking a huge amount of damage. Things like knowing when to go dark. Also too is we need to work on our ability to reinsert into a flank once we've been pushed out of there, gone dark, and seeing that the situation has changed, getting our boats back into that position to go back after that original objective. Communication is always an issue, focus firing, as well as making sure that everybody's working together, that are pushing at the same time, we're turning, kiting all at the same time so that nobody's getting left behind. I'm by no means an expert on any of this stuff, but this is just my opinion, this is my observations. Feel free to leave comments or talk to me about anything you see here. I'm always open to discuss this stuff, so I hope everybody enjoyed.